Well, I'm on the phone with Mark Shields, the head football coach for the MDI Trojans, as we are every Thursday and Monday during football season. And Coach, it's Winslow week, and as Ernie Clark from the Bangor Daily News said, and that really just is a week unto itself.
Yeah, for sure. I think we mentioned on Monday when we got together that we call it the Winslow week, and it's an exciting week because having an opportunity to play a program such as Winslow, it does get people excited about football, and not only football here on the island and in Winslow, but just in Eastern Maine in general. I think people they like to think that there's going to be a good matchup Saturday at 1 o'clock down at Winslow, and we're hoping we can go down there and give them a good show.
It's a tough environment down there, isn't it? I mean, with the spectators ringing around the field, and I mean they are very close to the field.
Yep, like we said before, it's a football community, and people come out every Saturday, every other Saturday when they have their home games, and those people expect to see a victory. That's why they're coming out. And, there's usually the stands are going to be full, and there's usually people, you're right, there's a rope around the field, and there are people standing all around the field, and, they get excited about football down there.
How has practice gone this week? And if you would tell us what you've worked on and about the extra day this week. After 2 weeks of Saturday football, it's going to feel like a compressed week next week.
Yeah, definitely. Like we talked last week with the Belfast game, getting that extra day of preparation is huge, and I think it's been great for us definitely this week. With an opponent such as Winslow, and what's nice is so Monday we can do a lower key kind of day. We usually have the kids lift. We'll have them look at film with us, and then we'll go up to the field and do a walkthrough. And then Tuesday is all-day offense. Wednesday is all-day defense. Today, Thursday, we'll split it up offense and defense to reinforce what we already learned. And then Friday will be pregame, and then get ready to head down Saturday morning. So getting that extra day, because Winslow does throw a lot at you, especially offensively. They just have a lot of different formations, and they run the same similar plays out of all their formations, but they have different looks when they do it, and they try to confuse you with their formation. So it gives us an extra day for the kids to recognize what kind of formation they're in. And as far as our focus all week, like we talked about on Monday, once again, special teams. I feel like this is one of the better special teams that I've had. I think right now, out of our first two opponents, we've won that battle, and that's going to be huge come Saturday, because Winslow definitely, they're a special teams type team. They work hard on it. You can see it on tape, and I've been playing them for years. I played them when I was in high school. I went to Scout League in high school, and they were one of our rivals back then in Class A. So, know a lot about Winslow, and worked hard on that this week. Once again, we talked about, do your job, because they do throw a lot at you, and, you have to do what you're taught and play your position. So there's been a lot of breakdown time, individual time with each coach, and, kids working at their position and, doing what they're supposed to do, learn what they need to learn, and, and then putting it together in the team aspect. And, the kids, I think they're excited for the opportunity. It's still early in the year, but it's a good test, I think, for both teams. I think last year both teams left the field, respecting one another. They ended up getting the win, but we felt like, okay, we could play with them. We can play with anybody in the state in Class C, and we're hoping to have another good showing Saturday.
Looking back to last Saturday's game for a second, who did you award the game ball to?
Yep, so we went with Chris Farnsworth. Chris is a senior, been with us for 4 years, and Chris is a guy that he was voted captain this year, and a good leader, a good athlete, just a nice guy, and he's been playing strong safety for us defensively, and he's one of our running backs on the offensive side of the ball, and he's one of those guys that's just productive week in, week out, and well-deserved, and I was really happy for him.
Okay. What about injuries this week? Have you got Drake James back, or where are we with him? And Elijah Joyce, I'm assuming, is still out.
Yep, so, right, Ezra Johnson.
I'm sorry, Ezra Johnson.
Another Swans Island guy, right? They're both Swans guys. So Ezra's still out, right? We're still waiting. He was going to have an MRI either today or tomorrow, he said. Still waiting for that swelling to go down. Unfortunately, Drake, we thought he was going to be able to go this week, but it looks like we might have to wait one more week. He still has some discomfort in there. Dan Violet, our trainer, put him through a battery of tests, and he started to feel some discomfort, some pain in that knee area. And so Dan had him stop that and said, we need the rest for another week. And, if that pain persists, then, we're going to have him probably have some sort of MRI. Right now, we're just hoping that he, basically has, bruised some bone, or we don't know what's going on in there. So we're hoping it's not like meniscus or any ligament damage. But, if it continues, then probably recommend his family to have him have an MRI. But we're hoping to get him back next week. He's excited to get out there. And so other than those two guys, we're a healthy football team and ready to go.
Keys to victory. Obviously, you mentioned it, winning the turnover battle.
Yep. You can't turn the football over if you're going to beat Winslow. They're going to take advantage of their opportunities, and you need to as well. And one thing, it's hard enough to move the ball against them and move the chains and get first downs and try to get in the end zone, and you just can't be coughing the ball up and giving it to them. You're not going to win the game, especially down there in Winslow. So turnovers will be huge. Once again, I think special teams will be huge. And, defensively, it's got to be that bend but not break. I mean, they're such a high-powered offense that they're going to have their plays for sure, and they're probably going to get in the end zone as well. But we want to make them earn everything that they get. Hopefully, they don't get a lot of big plays on us, because if they get a lot of big plays, it's going to be a long day for us. And, you got to stay in the game, too. You can't, if all of a sudden they get a couple big plays early on and you kind of lose your mojo, and it can be a long day down there as well. I've had those before.
Yes.
You've been there for some of those. And then offensively, I think you just, have to be patient. Take what they give you, and, know that a 3 or 4 yard gain is a good gain. You don't normally bust a lot of long ones on Winslow. So, once again, take your time, try to get first downs, and move the ball down the field and try to score.
Kick or receive if you win the toss?
Yeah, that's still up in the air. I'm not sure. In our playoff game last year, we ended up kicking off, and we did hold them on their first drive, and I'm sort of leaning that way, although I do think as well that, the more we hang around, the better opportunity we have. And sometimes if you get the ball first and you get a good long drive, even if you don't score, you take time off the clock and keep it close. So I could go either way with that right now. I'm not exactly sure.
You'd love some 8-minute drives, wouldn't you?
Yep, definitely. Talking to a newspaper the other day down in Central Maine, he brought up the Mount Blue game a few years ago, and he said, I was at that game, and I remember you guys it was 2, 3, 4, 5 yards, a whack, and just moving the chains and just keeping Mount Blue's offense off the field. And, I believe that's how you beat these, bigger, stronger teams.
All right. So next week, it's a game against Herman. Herman, we're not looking past Winslow by any means, but that's the next opportunity for the Island fans to come out and support, unless they're going to take a ride down to Winslow.
Yep, definitely. So if you can't get down there on Saturday at 1 for the Winslow game, we'll be back here the following week versus Herman at 7 o'clock on a Friday night. And they're 2-0 right now. They could be 3-0. They have Old Town Friday night, and they have some good athletes up there this year. They're doing a nice job, and that's going to be another tough game for the Trojans. So hopefully people can get out and see us play.
All right, Coach, have a good week. We'll see you. What time are you leaving on Saturday to head down to the island, down to Winslow?
Yep, we're going to leave at 9 a.m., which gives us plenty of time. Usually by bus, it's not quite 2 hours to get down to Winslow, depending on traffic and, if you run into any sort of construction. But we can be down there probably a little before 11, and that gives us plenty of time to let the kids get off the bus, stretch their legs, walk around on the field a little bit, and then get ready for our pregame.
That 1 o'clock start, though, I mean, that kind of messes around with lunch and things of that sort.
Yeah, definitely. So we talked to the kids a lot about, have a big breakfast, and then you still need to have a lunch. You can't go without lunch because if the game's at 1, gets over around 3:30, you haven't had anything to eat since, maybe 8 or 9, that's not good. So we, talked to the kids a lot about bring a light lunch, that they can eat like around 10 or 10:30. And even if they ate around 11, it's fine. We don't play until 1. So to have something in the tank late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're going to need it, no, without any question, against the Black Raiders.
Yep, definitely.
All right, Coach, have a good week. We'll see you down at Pool & Field on Saturday afternoon.
Sounds good, Chris. Thank you.